everyone, and welcome back to English Stories for Beginners. I'm so happy to see you here today. Do you want to speak English more naturally when you travel? On this channel, stories become your teacher, and we practice with the shadowing technique. Listen carefully, then repeat after me just like my shadow. Copy my voice, my speed, and my feeling. This trains your brain to think in English rather than translating. Today's story is called I Visited My Grandparents. It follows a homecoming trip from the city to the countryside, the bus station, the village gate, the family kitchen, the garden, the afternoon market, the riverbank at sunset, and the quiet ride back. You will practice real travel and family English with short, clear sentences, greetings, asking politely, sharing news, offering help, and saying goodbye with respect. Relax, listen closely, and repeat each line with me. Are you ready? Let's begin. The ticket.
My name is Mia. I live in a small city apartment, high enough to see the morning clouds touch the rooftops. One evening, I open my notebook and write one clear line. Go back to my hometown to visit my grandparents. I circle the words twice, then underline visit. It feels like a promise I want to keep. I choose a weekend and book a sleeper bus seat. I check the time, the gate, and the pickup point. I print the ticket and also save the QR code paper in my pocket, backup on my phone. I pack light, 2 shirts, a small gift from the city, a scarf for grandma, and a charger. I text my mother, I'm coming home tomorrow. Please tell Grandpa not to wait at the gate. I set an early alarm, fill my water bottle, and lay out comfortable shoes by the door. I turn off the lamp with a calm, happy heart and sleep with one steady thought, home.
Leaving the city.
The morning is pale and cool. Streetlights fade as the sky turns soft blue over quiet intersections. I call a ride to the bus station and watch the city stretch and yawn through half-open shutters. Vendors lift metal doors. Steam rises from soy milk and sticky rice baskets. The air smells warm and sweet. I hold my ticket tight and join a short line. People whisper goodbyes into their phones. At gate 3, the speaker hums, hometown line, boarding now, and a neat queue begins to move. I scan my code, step through, and feel a small flutter in my chest like the first page of a book. A porter waves, points to the luggage hatch. I nod, thank him softly, and keep my wallet close. I step onto the bus and choose a window seat. I wipe a small circle on the glass and watch the platform.
On the bus!
The seat reclines, the curtain slides down. The engine hums like a low, patient song. The city drops behind us. The highway flows like a gray river, carrying faint reflections of billboards and clouds. Fields appear green rose, water mirrors, egrets like white commas on the sentence of the land. I sip water, set a 20-minute rest timer for my eyes, and open my notebook on my lap. I write one word, home. I add 3 more, soon, safe, grateful. A child 2 rows back asks, are we there? And the mother smiles, not yet, but we're going. The driver taps the horn gently at each narrow bridge. The cabin breathes in unison and relaxes. I close my eyes, count 10 calm breaths, and let time slow down without asking it to stop.
The village gate.
We stop at a wide crossroad with a small tea stall and a bamboo broom leaning on the wall. Warm straw, wet earth, and fresh herbs fill the air the way stories fill a kitchen in winter. I climb down, thank the driver, and pull my suitcase to solid ground. A woman sells leaf-wrapped cakes, the green bundles still warm. Her smile says welcome without a sound. I buy one, say hello, and taste soft rice and sweet coconut. Memory wakes like a bell. A motorbike passes, a dog lifts its head. A rooster measures the sun with a loud call. The lane ahead shines under a gold line of light across the bamboo. I breathe in, breathe out, and step forward, slower than usual and happier than usual.
The dirt lane.
The lane is narrow and quiet. Chickens talk behind low fences like neighbors in the afternoon. Banana leaves shine after a light dawn mist. Dew becomes pearls on spider webs beside the path. My grandparents' gate is painted an old green. The paint is chipped but friendly, like a well-read book. A starfruit tree throws a gentle shadow across the yard. A clay jar stands by the steps, cool and still. I knock twice, soft and respectful. I hear slippered feet, and then the latch turns with a familiar click. Grandma smiles like morning breaking through a curtain. Her eyes shine in the doorway. I say, I'm home, and the yard suddenly feels exactly the right size for my heart.
Meeting Grandpa and Grandma.
Grandma hugs me. Her shirt smells like sun and soap. The hug says, you made it. Grandpa laughs. His whiskers warm my cheek. He taps my shoulder twice the old family code for good job. We sit by a wooden table. The clay teapot breathes thin curls of steam. Cups wait like small open hands. I tell them about the road, the fields, the little boy on the bus who asked too soon. They tell me about the rain that came late, the mango harvest, and the neighbor's new puppy. We try the cake I brought. Grandma says it is too fancy, then takes another small bite and grins. We sit close. We talk. We rest between words. The silence is full, not empty.
Lunch in the kitchen.
The stove glows. A pot of sour fish soup bubbles with a clean, bright smell that opens the lungs. Garden greens wait on a round plate. White rice rises in soft clouds from the iron pot. Grandma ladles soup. I carry bowls and chopsticks. Grandpa lifts the lid like a magician revealing the moon. He places a tender piece of fish into my bowl with a gentle nod. I say thank you and mean it. We eat slowly, talk in short lines, and let the rhythm of the meal set the pace of the day. Between bites, I refill water, wipe the table edge, and reach for the chili, then stop, smiling at Grandma's look. After rice, we share cool slices of starfruit that taste exactly like the backyard.
The garden.
Behind the house, spring onions stand in straight rows, like green pencils in a tidy box. Red chilies shine like little lanterns. Bottle gourds hang long and pale under a careful net. Bees tap yellow pumpkin flowers. Butterflies read the air as if it were a quiet book. I water the beds, Damp earth rises with a clean, deep smell that always feels like truth. Grandma points to the starfruit tree I climbed as a child. I touch the bark and hear my childhood knock. Grandpa shows me a new lemon sapling. He says, "Give it time," and the words feel larger than the soil. We gather a handful of herbs for dinner and a story for the way back.
Midday rest.
Wind slips through wooden shutters. A palm leaf fan hums like a soft drum, keeping time for a slow song. Grandpa rests in the hammock. Grandma says, "Sleep a little. The afternoon will be kind." I place my notebook by my pillow, silence my phone, and lie on the bamboo bed. The nap is short but deep. I dream of a path that becomes a river, that becomes a road back home. I wake to light moving across the floor like water. Somewhere a bicycle bell rings and fades. Grandma hands me a glass of cool tea. I hold it with two hands, as I did when I was small. The house sighs around us, and we smile for no reason at all.
The afternoon market.
I walk with Grandma to the village market, our steps matching like two halves of one sentence. Fish scales glitter like coins. Herbs tie themselves into fragrant green bundles. Chilies glow like punctuation. Voices rise and fall bargaining, laughing, calling names that carry the weight of years. I buy a small gift for my mother and tuck it carefully into my bag. I keep the receipt flat. Grandma trades news as if it were seeds. Every greeting plants a small smile in the air. We share a tofu snack on a wooden bench. A cat watches with patient hope. On the way home, banana leaves throw long, cool shadows. The road hums softly under our sandals.
The riverbank.
Near evening, I walk to the river steps. The water carries the day in slow, quiet hands. Water hyacinth drifts in soft green islands. A wooden boat slides past like a sentence without a comma. Children splash and shout. A father counts. 1, 2, 3, jump. And laughter lands like pebbles. I sit, loosen my shoes, and dip my feet in the cool current. Dust leaves. Calm arrives. I write 3 words in my notebook. Still clear light. Then add 1 more. Enough. A fisherman lifts his net and waves. I wave back and feel the wave continue inside me. The first moths circle the lamp by the bridge. Tiny moons around a tiny sun.
Sunset and fireflies.
The sun drops behind the bamboo ridge. The sky becomes a quiet fire of pink and gray. Kitchen smoke writes thin lines above the roofs. A rooster gives one late doubtful crow. Fireflies blink like little promises in the warm dark. The promises are small, but they keep coming. Grandpa places an oil lamp on the porch. Grandma pins up her hair with an old clip that never fails. We sit together and listen to the first cricket call. The porch becomes a small theater for evening. I count 10 lights, then 20. I stop counting and just look. Some moments grow by not measuring them.
Night stories.
Grandpa tells about the great flood years ago. The river wider than the road smaller than a string. Grandma remembers the day I got lost at the market and cried into a basket of limes. The wall clock ticks steady, patient. sure like an old friend who never runs out of time. We laugh, then fall quiet. The stories fold themselves like blankets for another night. I know I am older now. I also know some parts of me never left this house. The lamp burns low, the air cools, the stars arrive without asking for attention. We wish each other good night and mean it.
Morning goodbye.
Dawn returns with pale silver light. The kitchen sings a soft song of steam and spice. I help Grandma steam sticky rice. Grandpa tightens the basket handle with careful knots that hold more than bamboo. I take one photo of the yard and then put my phone away. Some things belong to memory, not the feed. I hug Grandma, shake Grandpa's hand, and promise I'll return at harvest time, a date with the earth. We check the bag, rice cakes, herbs, a small jar of pickles, love packed in edible shapes. I pull my suitcase to the gate, look back, and smile. The starfruit tree waves with every leaf. The day begins with a soft, clean promise that feels like a map I already know.
Back to the city.
The bus rolls past the village gate. Bamboo bends like old friends waving with both arms. Fields grow small, buildings rise and stack into streets. The city puts on its bright, busy face. I open my notebook and write one clear line. A short road, a full heart, a good return. I text my mother, arriving by noon, and send a photo of the sky so she reads my mood. I plan the week, lightly call a friend, water my plants, cook rice with starfruit on Sunday. I close the cover and watch the skyline come closer. Home and city breathe together, gentle and strong. I lean my head on the window and let the engine sing me forward.
Great job! You listened, repeated, and shadowed with me today. Every sentence you spoke made your English stronger. I visited my grandparents reminds us that a homecoming is more than distance. It is voices at the gate, tea on the table, a quiet garden, a river at sunset, and a clear goodbye. Simple English can guide you through stations, tickets, greetings, small talk, and respectful farewells. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to English Stories for Beginners for more shadowing practice. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Remember, one page, one story, one step, your English will grow. Thank you for learning with me today.